Yesterday, we started a Give Me a Break investigation into college hazing. We looked at laws that make it illegal to haze, and we also looked at states that are legal and need to start taking these drastic actions. We looked at a case. About a kid, about people who did the hazing but didn't call 911. Today, the investigation continues. And along with an experiment, some college students in fraternity and sorority hazing. So the question is, what would you do if you saw something like this? Take a look. And also before we get started here, see the straw?
Gentlemen, our fraternity is nationally recognized for...
See the straw right here? I'm eating, so you'll see me eat while we perform this. Just don't fall asleep on me. Like I said yesterday, this is a groundbreaking investigation. So before you go to your sororities or fraternities, this is a groundbreaking show you will not miss. So get out a pen and paper, and parents, listen good.
Gentlemen, our fraternity is nationally recognized for its dedication to excellence. Only the most worthy pledges are invited to join. Do you guys have what it takes? Now, let's get them, boys.
Hazing, innocent fun or dangerous bullying? In the name of bonding, fraternities and sororities often put new pledges through arduous and potentially harmful tasks, sometimes going too far, even risking death. If you saw these frat boys taking brotherly bonding to cruel and perilous heights, what would you do?
What these boys are doing may seem like a prank, but hazing way too often ends in tragedy.
Students allegedly gave Piazza so much alcohol that he fell down a flight of stairs.
19-year-old Timothy Piazza was killed after an alcohol-fueled hazing ritual at his Penn State fraternity. Since his tragic death in 2017, 2 former frat boys have pleaded guilty to hazing charges, while 23 other members await trial. Today, the boys of our fictitious W Psi Delta fraternity have chosen the Civic Center Mall in Scottsdale, Arizona, to haze these new recruits.
On your knees. Get down. Get on your knees. Come on.
These women are immediately caught off guard by the free male entertainment.
All right, here we go. Set them up. Yeah, you guys want to help? You guys want to help?
These two become so distracted,
It'll bring back old memories. Let's go.
they accidentally veer away from their friends.
Are you sure? No, you can be a part of this.
As they rejoin the group, the hazing begins.
Ready? Yeah. Chug it. Chug. No.
But their amusement ends.
Come on. What are you doing? Now.
Still, they walk away.
Louder.
As the day goes on, the boys have no trouble drawing attention.
You want to be in this frat or not? I don't think you guys are worthy.
And everybody's
They old
videotaping it.
hazing stories with this guy.
What do you think about this?
That's good.
Yeah.
I was in one years ago.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
When I got mine, I beat my ex in the back.
Yeah.
They whipped us.
Come on, guys.
I cried. I cried.
And recruiting this couple to help with the hazing.
Hey, you guys help us out? Want help? Yeah. All right. Come on over. Sunglasses. Can you help us with this?
But before this couple helps our frat boys, she pauses to raise some concern.
You're not like gonna get alcohol poisoning.
No. They're wrong. They're built for this. They want us.
And that seems to put her concerns to rest.
All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There we go.
I know it's
Why
smart.
did she go along?
You can't be too correct about everything. You know, if he was that bad, I would stop it. He wasn't saying, hey, I can't do this. He can verbalize.
As this small crowd gathers,
Come on, pledges. Come on. Dinner is served. Let's go, boys. Come on.
we're wondering if anyone will stop the hazing.
Don't you go. Oh, what are you doing? Spit on me? Did you just spit on me? Are you kidding me?
These two women have finally seen enough.
Woo! Do you guys want to help? Done.
And they rush to the aid of our pledges.
You want to help?
Break it up and we're calling the police.
It's a part of pledging. What do you mean? They look forward to this all week. They want to be in our frat.
I definitely don't think anyone looks forward to whatever it is.
Do you guys want to do this?
No, I don't care if they do it or not. You can't do this.
All right, guys, how are you? We're with What Would You Do? They're actors. We're doing a TV show. Ask me, okay?
I'm shaking.
You're really affected by this.
Freaking out. Oh my gosh.
Why get involved?
Because this isn't okay, even if it's something that they're willing to do. I mean,
I have a brother who's a senior in high school and who's about to go off to college, and I wouldn't want him to be going through that stuff. Like,
yeah, you shouldn't have to like wear a diaper or get alcohol poisoning to be involved with people. Yeah, no, definitely not. No.
Quite the dynamic duo helping our frat pledges. But now, what if we switch things up?
I don't care if it hurts. I can't.
And instead of a fraternity, the pledges are joining a sorority.
amateur. Let me show you how it's done.
We will look at that. We'll look at that sorority and look at the top 10 stories that have been on the news. Coming up. So, coming up next, more of this What Would You Do college, fraternity, and sorority hazing. What would you do if you would see this? And later, some of the top 10 stories that have been on the news about colleging. Plus, a look at laws that prohibit, that make it legal and illegal in these states. Stay with us. Up front tonight, more of our Give Me a Break investigation into hazing. So far, we have shown you is a clip of What Would You Do about this sort of hazing and why it's unacceptable. Now, it's all about the sorority.
Park goers give the W Psi Delta sisters a free pass.
Oh, are you guys crying? You guys are pathetic. You guys are so gross. How about we douse them with a little vodka?
Like the boys, the girls easily draw the attention of people in the park.
We don't let babies in the sorority. Take this punishment and earn your right.
But this time, this concerned citizen just can't walk away.
What are you guys doing?
They're pledging.
So this is how you can get into your store.
Yeah, doing them a favor. They're enjoying it. Don't you think?
I think you guys should actually stop. I don't think you should treat people like that.
Easy.
Mind your own business, it's okay.
Yeah, they're fine, right?
We're fine.
I just think it's wrong.
With her attempts to help rebuffed, this woman walks away. Like the boys, the girls are also able to recruit some help, getting this woman to record the hazing.
Yeah, can we do video? Is that okay? Yeah, can you just make sure you get like action shots of us?
As she's recording, this man walks by and offers to make a contribution to the fun.
Brought my whip.
Ooh! Oh, can we borrow it?
And he's not the only man to make similar comments.
Are they housebroke?
Not yet.
This is not the kind of hazing you're supposed to be doing. You do know that, right?
But when it's the young women being hazed,
Tell them that you want to do this.
It doesn't matter if she wants to. You're the one that's in the wrong.
more spectators intervene.
Ew, I'm so disgusting.
Like this couple who alerts the authorities.
If it was guys, I don't think I would have been as concerned. I would have just kind of, all right, it's guys. But seeing the girls here, that was really disturbing.
These next two former frat brothers have a different recollection of hazing.
What kind of stuff did you do then?
Never had to get vodka dumped on my head. Liquor in their face or their eyes.
I mean, they're fine, but...
Oh yeah, sure. They're not being poured. They're not being poured in their eyes. How do you know they're fine?
What if you pour the alcohol? Show us how to do it. How should we do it so it doesn't affect their eyes?
I would probably drink it.
This last woman may be laughing,
Like, I'm smiling because it's like ridiculous.
but she's definitely not amused.
It's like really not funny. Why?
Well, I mean, I have sisters, and, like, this is not the way to, like, get sisters, honestly. You know, like, guys treat girls like this all the time.
I mean, if guys can do this, why can't girls?
Okay, I can't even. That's just, like, ridiculous.
As her efforts to educate go unheeded, she valiantly makes one last attempt as we quietly approach.
Like, what's the purpose of sorority? You're actually supposed to do something for people, not torture everybody.
And have a lot of fun.
Hi there.
I just want...
I'm John Quinones.
Oh, God.
Your advice to young girls who feel pressured?
Why would you want to do that? I understand people do things for acceptance, but it's just sad to see that people in the same group would hate on each other.
Since 1969, there has been at least one university hazing death each year. More and more schools are working to put an end to all potentially dangerous hazing behavior.
I remember my first year at ASU, it was just all about being on campus and how much alcohol you can drink, and then bad stuff happens.
Bad stuff happens. All but 6 states in the U.S. have passed anti-hazing laws. In Pennsylvania, legislators are working to pass stricter laws after the tragic death of Timothy Piazza.
You're trying to be friends, like that's the absolute wrong definition of what a friend is.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks.
Okay, if I started a college, if I wanted to do a thing for my show, you want to hire me at my show, and I did some hazing and people saw me doing that, they tell me to stop. I already stop. I'll stop it already. They tell me to stop, I'll stop. But if people around me say, no, don't listen to that. Keep going. I will punch them right in the fucking face. And I will seriously screw them up. Even if it meant going to jail. I'm glad stricter laws have been passed to deal with shit like this. You don't deal with this kind of crap. And oh boy, this is why I started doing this investigation, because of shit that's happening. Now, 3 months ago, the family sues fraternity for a criminal hazing. This was 3 months ago. Take a look at this, then we're going to go on break.
Gas price.
Anguished parents tonight in the very disturbing surveillance here amid horrific allegations of fraternity hazing at the University of Missouri. A student allegedly force-fed alcohol, now paralyzed, blind, and unable to speak. Tonight here, his family demanding criminal charges, and here's Will Reeve.
Tonight, the family of Danny Santulli is pleading for criminal hazing charges after the college freshman nearly died while pledging a fraternity at the University of Missouri.
It makes me sick to my stomach seeing the people involved that harmed Danny walking around campus acting like they did nothing wrong.
For the first time, we see surveillance footage from inside the Pi Gamma Delta fraternity house on October 19th, showing blindfolded pledges being led down a staircase. According to the family's civil lawsuit that was recently settled against 23 defendants, Danny was pressured to drink an entire bottle of vodka.
We see one of the fraternity members putting a tube in Danny's mouth with a funnel at the other end and pouring beer down his throat while Danny is in the middle of consuming an entire bottle of vodka.
Danny is seen losing his balance and falling backwards. Fraternity members then carry him into another room and drop him onto a sofa. About 90 minutes later, Danny begins to slip onto the floor. As the minutes tick by, he struggles to move, then lies still. After 15 minutes, another fraternity member finds Danny unresponsive, lifting him back onto the sofa. Other brothers come into the room. They carry Danny to the door, but he's dropped onto the floor before they take him to the hospital.
His lips were blue and nobody called 911. It's like...
This is similar to what happened in
I don't
Pennsylvania.
know. I mean, a 6-year-old calls 911.
At the hospital, Danny is in cardiac arrest. His blood alcohol level a near lethal 0.486, 6 times the legal driving limit. He suffered permanent brain injury.
What do the doctors tell you about Danny?
That he'll need care for life. He's still not talking or walking. He's in a wheelchair. He lost his vision.
But he hears us, and he knows we're there.
The University of Missouri has since revoked the fraternity's charter and proposed sanctions against 13 of its members. Prosecutors have charged one fraternity member with 2 misdemeanors for supplying alcohol to a minor, but the family says that's not enough.
Your family believes that Danny was hazed?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
I do personally want to see specific kids get felony Ds. That's going to wake them up.
David, the fraternity says that they prohibit hazing and giving alcohol to minors, and that Danny should not have been put in that situation. David,
Will Reeve tonight.
There you go! They prohibit hazing, but what do? They break the rules! They break the rules! You don't break the rules like that. They prohibit hazing. They prohibit hazing. You break the rules, there's consequences. There's more when we return. Laws that make it stricter and laws that make it legal to do this kind of stuff. What needs to be done? Stay with us. For those that are just joining us today, give me a break investigation into college hazing. What states make it legal and what states make it illegal? Let's look at Texas. That's subchapter F hazing of section 37.151. Organization means fraternity, sorority, association, cooperation, order, society, student band or musical group involves any activity that includes causes that requires student to perform any duty or task that involves a violation of the penal code or involves social means defined in section 1.7 penal code to student consume a drug or alcohol. I'm not going to read you all this law, but I know what it does. That's Texas. Now let's look at Pennsylvania. Now remember, Pennsylvania, that's where, in Pennsylvania, that's what happened to that kid that happened back in 2017. That's Title 18, Chapter 28, Anti-Hazing. Section 7 of Act 8 of 2018 provided that the Constitution Chapter 28 shall apply causes of action which occur after, on, or after the effective date of Section 7. It's a fine of more than $5,000 for each violation of Section 28.2803. That's from Pennsylvania. And now let's look at Missouri, where that incident happened just back in October. The offense of hazing is a Class A misdemeanor unless the act creates a substantial risk of the life of the student or prospective member, in which, in this case, it is a Class D felony. That's Section 578.365 of the law. Consent to is not an offense to hazing. Does not apply hazing cases to homicide cases arising out of hazing activity. Nothing section shall be interpreted as creating a new private cause of action in an educational institution. Public or private colleges, universities in this state shall adopt written policy prohibiting hazing in any organization operating on a sanctioned institution. Any activity that requires a student or prospective member to perform a duty or task which involves violation of criminal laws in this state or any political subdivision in this state. Any activity which is dangerous to physical health, safety of the student or prospective member, including the limited physical brutality, whipping, beating, preventing exposure to the elements, forced consumption of any food, liquor, drug, or other substance, or forced smoking, chewing tobacco products. Any activity which recklessly endangers the mental health of the student or prospective member, including not limited to sleep deprivation, physical confinement, or extreme stressing, reducing activity. There you go. That's the laws, to name a few. But these YouTubers have had their stories to tell. Let's check out this YouTube.
Well, hello there, and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about my sorority experience.
Here's her sorority experience.
And how I was hazed. Yay for hazing. Shout out to the hazers. Before I get started, I just want to tell you to like this video, hit a thumbs up, that's what it's called.
Alright, let's get to the story.
Always really enjoyed, and I've always really liked having families and being part of a club. And so it's always something that's interested me a lot. My older sister was in a sorority, so that made me a legacy. And legacies are like sisters or daughters or granddaughters of previous or current members of the organization. My freshman year, I went to ASU. Well, I went to ASU all 4 years. My freshman year of college, I joined the sorority that my sister was in. I went to some of the rush events, which was like just some really like low-key events. There weren't a lot of girls in the organization, so it was really easy to like meet everybody. Rush events are events that help you like learn about the organization and things about them, and then in turn it allows the organization members to learn more about you. So then I like went through their like rush process, and then they gave me a bid and I accepted the bid. And then it was really cool. Then one day they blindfolded me. We were all sitting in a car. They took us out one at a time and we were brought into this house. But remember, we're blindfolded, so we're walking. They sit us in front of well, what they said was, hey, what is this in front of you? Touch it. And it was a toilet. And I was like, okay. And then
That's enough. This is TMI, too much for me. This is TMM, which means too much for me. And almost last year, 11 charged in the Hazing death of a Virginia student. Let's take a look at that one.
Peacock's now the streaming home of your favorite NBC and Bravo.
When we got the first call that people were being arrested, I cried. I mean, it was like that first glimmer of hope in 7 months.
After 7 months of questions, Courtney White believes she and her family will finally get answers in the hazing death of her 19-year-old cousin, VCU student Adam Oakes.
It was bittersweet. We cried. I mean, it was just so wonderful to hear that something was being done.
Friday afternoon, Richmond police announced that 11 individuals are being charged in Oakes' death. So far, there have been 8 arrests. All 8, including Jason Mulgrew, Alessandro Medina Villanueva, Christian Rohrbach, Riley K. McDaniel, and Enayat Sheikzad, who was not pictured, have been charged with unlawful hazing of a student. Benjamin J. Corrado, Quinn A. Cubey, and Colin G. Tran were also charged with purchasing and providing alcohol to a minor. At this time, the remaining 3 individuals have not been arrested.
These arrests signify that you're not going to get away with hazing in the state of Virginia, but also that Adam didn't die and no one be held accountable for what happened to him.
Back in February, police found Oakes unresponsive in a campus house on West Clay Street. Oakes was determined to have died from alcohol poisoning. Oakes' family believes he was hazed during a party after accepting a bid to join the Delta Chi fraternity. Back in June, the fraternity was officially banned from VCU's campus. Last month, VCU also notified its students that it will not allow Greek organizations to bring on new members this fall. Alcohol has also been prohibited from official student organizations and functions for all undergraduate students. White says it's reforms like this one that could save another life.
If other universities don't have something in place, take VCU as the example and start doing it now before one of your students dies because of hazing.
In the meantime, she and her family are waiting for their day in court and some semblance of justice for Oakes.
And then a question that I still have is what happened? I mean, I know the gist of what happened that evening, but I'd love to hear it from somebody that can tell me piece by piece everything that my cousin went through that night. Because right now, the unknowing is just as agonizing as the pain of his death.
So what can parents do to end this? We'll tell you when we come back. And give you some tips for students that are going to go through this, and what rules that other colleges have rules about. We'll be right back. So what can parents do to stop hazing? Remember, there are laws in Virginia that prohibit this. How can it be prevented? There needs to be a good role model, parenting and early learning with support and rewards for good behavior for those students to speak out about hazing. Students need to improve their self-esteem, grow up, and learn to be mature. Talk about it with other students and put peer pressure out against it. But what are ways to stop hazing? Laws, education. There are other ways. According to Rochester.edu, the University of Rochester, they have lots of tips. Reduce the power of differential between members and initiates. Give members time to reflect on their actions. Encourage members to voice concern with the new member education program. Be willing to amend traditions. Develop an anti-hazing policy. Share ideas with other organizations. And take advantage of campus resources. But there's also other ways. The prevention strategy, they need to have strong discipline for hazing. Police investigation and prosecution for hazing. Positive bonding activities. Education about positive initiation and hazing. Adults who support positive initiation activities. Physically challenging activities. Adults who say hazing is not acceptable. A good behavior required to join the group. A no hazing agreement should be signed by kids and other. That's from the percentage. 61% for strong. That's like a poll. So yeah, we need to educate people. Education is key. The best way is to learn what hazing and familiarize yourself with the signs of hazing. I'm familiar with that. I've seen it on TV and movies. Like, let me show you an example, okay? I'm not going to play you this. I'm going to tell you an example, okay? If you remember Smallville, this was season 5. I think it was episode 5. Yeah, I think it was, season 5, episode 5, to where Lana joins the sorority and she becomes a vampire. Like, one initiation you have to do. Bites the neck, you're a vampire. That was a great example, but it was only TV. But in movies, it's all just movies. People can go, yeah, I can copy off that. Like, wow, that looks cool. I want to do that. But it's just Smallville. Research and understand universities' anti-hazing policies and state and local laws. That's exactly what we did. Almost did. Begin a hazing prevention movement on your campus. It's what we're going to do for our show. I've had lots of goals. To stop bullying, speak up. And now this new one. Throughout this season, we're going to be dedicating, the goal of this new season is to stop hazing, act now, and take the hazing prevention pledge. It's a new group. I'm going to start creating this group on Facebook right now. Well, not right now. After I say after the show's done. But there are strategies like we talked about, investigations, discipline. But if we were to look up their policy, hazing policy, that would fall under the in accordance with section 51.96. These students always formally publish some information in subchapter F37 and 2 list organizations. That's person committed to defensive engages in hazing is really, it's illegal. I'm glad they have hazing policy, so that's good for them. And I may ask them to join me on the Stop Hazing. And yeah, I only think it's a great way to start off this new season. We've had goals like last season. We dedicated to Stop Hazing and Act Now. No, last season we did Stop Bullying, Speak Up, where people shared their stories, and I've shared stories from news articles and shared episodes. Now I'm taking this. Now this season, by all the episodes to come, the goal of this is to stop hazing. Stop hazing and act now. Or stop hazing, act now. And this is really a best way to end this, to start off this season. Like, give you guys some inside look. I mean, there are strategies. 66 pages. It's like a whole PowerPoint here. 55% experience hazing, while it's 5% calling hazing. 47% hazing, 8% calling hazing. Leads to bonding, tradition, building respect. There are other ways. They've had hazed regularly, and I'm connecting the dots and all this. You were in Arizona. I mean, all this. I mean, this is all 66 pages. Even the pyramid. The bystander. 5, take action, acquire skills, recognize responsibility, interpret as a problem, notice hazing. That's number 1. And it can be bullying. 36% of students said they would not report hazing. 25% of those who reported hazing were first hazed before the age of 13. That's underage. That's giving alcohol to minors. You could be arrested on that. So, yeah. Yeah, I think we should start off this season. So, throughout this season, we are going to be, our goal for this season is to end the silence on hazing. Because hazing is a real big deal, and a lot of colleges don't care. A lot of colleges don't care. Laws have been passed, and nobody gives two craps about it. So, yeah. After this episode, I'm going to head straight to Facebook and create this group. And once I create the group, it's going to be in the description below, so you can join and tell your story. And I will share your stories at the end of each episode throughout this season. Or when we do college stories. Maybe. It all depends. So, get ready to tell your stories. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Tuesday. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Wednesday. For all of us here at YouTube and Give Me a Break. Good night, everyone.